Hello students, I hope you all are fine and also studying well in your homes. So students, in my last video I was discussing chapter number 15, that was light chapter, and we have started with it, and I have discussed till this topic, light travels in a straight line. In the last part I was discussing a experiment which is showing that the light travels in a straight line, which was this experiment, that is rectilinear propagation of light. Now in this video I'll start with the next portion, that is ray and beam. So first of all we will know what is a ray. So a single line of light is known as ray. A single line of light which is present anywhere, it is termed as ray. Now it is shown by a straight line with an arrow that indicates the direction in which it travels. So rays are usually shown by a arrow so that we can understand in which direction the light is traveling. Now the next come is beam. So a collection of ray, when the number of rays comes together, it becomes a collection of rays and it calls as a beam of light. Now beams of light are classified into three kinds. The first one is parallel, second one is convergent, and the third one is divergent. Now we'll try to understand about these three in details, which is here in the page number 169 only. So a beam of light is parallel. It is termed as parallel when the rays of lights are parallel to each other. When see here in this figure we can see that the rays of light are parallel to each other, means that these two lines will never intersect each other at any point of its direction, any point of its traveling. They will never intersect each other. It will follow its own path and this will follow its own path. So these type of rays are called as these type of beams, collection of rays means the beams are called as parallel beams. Now the next come is here also in the parallel beams only, the distance between the rays remains the same. The distance between the rays always remains the same only, and they never intersect each other. Next comes convergent. A beam of light is convergent when the rays of light meet at a point, meet or converged at a point. So this type of light is termed as a convergent beam of light. The distance between the rays keeps decreasing. So it keeps decreasing till all the rays meet at a point, because they have to meet at a point, means converge means to meet at a point, and for that it is needed that the distance which is there present between the beams, it should always be decreasing, so they comes together. Like here we can see the distance is getting decreased, and these with a arrow we can see in which direction the light is traveling. So all these travels and comes together at a point, and this point becomes the convergent point for the convergent beam of light. Now divergent. A beam of light is divergent when the rays of light spread out from a point. So when from this point, when all the rays are spreading out in other directions, then it becomes divergent, means the rays of light are going in other directions and the distance between the rays keeps increasing. And obviously as these things are coming together, so what we saw in convergent, that the distance between the rays is decreasing, whereas here we can see that as it is coming out from one point, here we can see that the distance between them is increasing. So the difference between these two is the distance between the rays decreases. Here the distance between the rays increases in divergent. Now we'll start with the next page, and here the next topic is speed of light. Light travels in straight line with a speed of 300,000 km per second, or 3 into 10 raised to the power 5 km per second. In SI units, the speed of light is 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second. So these things you should learn. so that we come to know about the speed of light, in which speed it is traveling. Light is so fast there is almost no time gap between an event takes place a few kilometers away from us and us seeing it. Means something which is happening a few meters away from us, we can see it within a fraction of seconds, as what happens, light travels very fast. And here we can see the speed also, and from this we can also make out that the light travels very fast. Thus we see events such as the flash of a gun being fired, a gong being struck, or lightning in the sky almost instantaneously. So all this thing, what happens, we see very instantly, as the speed is very fast. However, it takes light a lot more time to travel from far away objects in space to the earth. However, what happens when the space is concerned, it takes a lot of time to reach something from space to the earth. And whereas in earth, everything which is happening some distance nearer to us, we can see it within fraction of seconds. Sunlight takes around 8 minutes to travel from the sun to the earth. So sunlight, what it takes, 8 minutes to travel from the sun to the earth. Light takes several years to travel from the other stars to the earth, whereas light is taking several years to travel from the other stars to the earth. Now with this, the speed of light is over. We'll come to the next topic, that is shadows. Shadows we can usually see in our day-to-day life also. We see shadows, like whenever we are walking, if the light is present, we can see that even in the roads also, we can see when the sunlight is high above us, rising above us, we can see our shadows walking with us. So what that black thing which is walking with us is the shadow of ourselves only. So now here we can see, darken a room and switch on a light or light a candle. What we can do, we can darken a room and we can switch on a light, or we can light a candle or a torch. Light illuminates all the objects in the room. What happens? Light tries to shine it up, all those things, all those objects which is present in the room. The dark patches you observe near objects are shadows. But what happens is there is some dark patches which is present near or below those objects, and those are as termed as the shadows. Like here in this picture you can see a girl is exercising, so what she is performing, we can see down the same image is formed by her shadow. A shadow is formed when the path of light is blocked by an object. So when a shadow is formed, it is formed whenever the light of the object is blocked by something. The path of the light is blocked by something, then the shadow is formed. We can see our shadow when we stand in the open on a sunny day. So when we stand in open on a sunny day, so we can see our shadow. The shadow will resemble our outline. Obviously the shadow, what it does, it resembles properly as our outline, but will not show any detail. Like if we want see our shadow, we can see the only outline of the body, but we cannot see our eyes, our nose, our lips. These things are not visible. It is just the outline which we can see. Its size and shape will change according to the position of the sun in the sky, but the size and position will be changing. Like when we are walking and if shadow is formed, we will see that the size and the position will change as we walk, because of the sun which is there in the sky. Means the shadow depends on the light only, like how it will be formed, what position it will be there, what size it will be there, everything it depends on the light. So conditions for the formation of shadow. Now what are the conditions which should be present so that a shadow is formed? To form a shadow, we need a source of light. First of all, I said here also that light is very much needed. So a source of light is needed, without which a shadow cannot be formed. An object also should be needed that blocks the light. As soon as the path of the light is blocked, a shadow will be formed, whereas if it is not blocked, no shadows will be formed. What will happen? The light will start traveling through that part. If it is blocked, it will get stuck and the shadow will be formed. A screen. The screen is any surface on which a shadow falls. A screen is very much needed because without a screen, a shadow will not be seen. We will not be able to see that shadow. So a screen is needed there. Now we'll come to the characteristics of shadow, which is there in the page number 171. The shape and size of the shadow depends on the shape and size of the object. Because the shadow is formed from the object only, so obviously the shape and size will depend on the shape and size of the object. It also depends on the position of the source of light and also on the position of the source of light. No matter what the color of the object, the color of the shadow cast by it is always dark. No matter what the color of the object is, it will always be seen as a dark portion only. Other than its shape, no detail of the object can be seen in the shadow. I have discussed it earlier also. Other than the outline of the any object, we cannot see any such detail of the objects. Opaque objects from darker shadows than translucent or transparent objects. This is because transparent or translucent objects allow some light to pass through and fall on the screen. So what happens? Opaque objects, as all the light is blocked there, it forms the most of the darker shadows as compared to translucent or transparent. Why this happens? Because translucent object and as well as transparent object allows some light to pass through them. So here the shadow formed in case of translucent or transparent object, the shadow formed will be a lighter one, whereas in opaque objects the shadow formed will be a darker one. So in the next video I will be discussing the rest of the chapter. So here we'll end with this portions only. Thank you.